Hey, welcome back to Brighter Rays. We're looking at a study called For the Love of Rachel. And today's lesson is called Discipline for Love. And we're in Genesis 29, 13 through 20. All right, so let's take a look at Jacob and Rachel. Now, Jacob is disciplined himself for his love. There's another good sign that this is real love. Rachel tells Laban that Jacob has arrived, and he runs out to meet Jacob. After hearing Jacob's story, Laban invites him into his house, saying, "Surely you are my bone and flesh." And Jacob stays with them for a whole month. So God graciously ends Jacob's homelessness in the hospitality of his uncle. So there's one grace, there's one gift that God gives to Jacob. Again, he's getting a lot of gifts here. He's already met Rachel. He gets to live in a house now, even though he just left home. So, during that month while they're there, Jacob must have been making himself very useful, because Laban came and said to him, "Because you are my kinsman, should you therefore serve me for nothing? Tell me, what shall your wages be?" From that first meeting and over that month, Jacob's love for Rachel has grown, and the only thing that he wants from his uncle is Rachel's hand in marriage. That's it. Jacob says that he's willing to give up 7 years of his life, and at the end of the 7 years, the only thing he would gain would be Rachel. That's it. He needed nothing else. Now that's love. That is love. Now Charles Naylor's second test of love is the willingness to sacrifice. He says there is the test of love that proves its real direction, whether it runs out selfwardly or Godward. If we love God and souls as much as we love self, then we can spend money for them just as willingly and with as little reluctance or regret to see it go as if it were being spent for ourselves. We cannot spend to God and His work more willingly than for self. That's because we do not love Him more than self. If we do not get more pleasure out of giving than we do out of consuming, then we may well question both the amount and quality of our love and its direction. Often the work of God must go on crutches because of lack of means, while professors live in luxury. So what he's saying there is, if you say you love God, but you're not willing to give up things for God, but are willing to give everything to yourself, spend all your time, your money, your efforts just on what you want, on your own efforts, and you're not willing to spend money, time, and effort in the things of God, then who do you love? Who do you love more? Yeah, his answer is you love yourself more. You don't really love God. You're just loving yourself. You might love God, but it's not where it should be. And so we need to be understanding of that. Like Jacob's love for Rachel was to put her above himself. He's willing to give up all this. He's willing to give up 7 years of wages for Rachel. He's willing to give up everything for the chance to marry Rachel, just to live and to work. So that's the sacrificial love. That's what we're seeing here. And that's the love that we need to have for God. That's the love that God had for us, right? He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him shall have eternal life. He gave His Son. That's sacrificial love. Jesus Christ gave His life. That's sacrificial love. So that's another test of love that we need to see here. Now, Jacob is also disciplined for his love. He disciplines himself, but he's also disciplined for love. God disciplines him for love. So Jacob would spend the next 7 years of manual labor working for another man to earn the hand of marriage of the one whom he loved. He had earned the birthright and the blessing through lies and deception, but to have Rachel, he would have to work honestly for years. Jacob knew how to cheat. He knew how to cheat to get what he wanted. He knew how to do it instantly too. Right? Everything he got, he cheated to get right away. Instant gratification. But for Rachel, he would have to delay his gratification for 7 long years. This is the evidence of the loving hand of God's discipline. And that's having an impact on the life of Jacob. Jacob is beginning to change. He could have cheated. He could have cheated Laban. It makes you wonder, man, he could have 7 years? Come on, man. He could have, done something a little bit more than that. But So he's willing to discipline himself. Wait, he's not willing to cheat and scheme his way to get Rachel. He doesn't just go out and steal her or figure out a way to snag her and run her back into Canaan. No, he's willing to stop, to work hard for 7 years, to have the money to pay for the dowry. That's what he's doing. Well, he went from a man who would allow a curse to fall on his own mother for him to volunteering to serve 7 years for a wife. Now, the last of Charles Naylor's tests of love is endurance. Real love will endure. Jacob lasted the 7 years, and it says it felt like a day to him. Jesus proved his love for us by enduring the accusations, mockery, scourging, and crucifixion. His love was shown to be real because it endured. Naylor says, sometimes people quote the text, "We know that we would have passed from death into life because we love the brethren." But if these same brethren do something that does not please them, they are offended and grieved and are full of complaint and murmuring, and it's hard for them to be reconciled to their brethren. Is the love of such people genuine? Does it really prove that they have passed from death into life? Love makes service sweet, sacrifice easy, and meek endurance possible. Love enriches, ennobles, and blesses. It sweetens the bitter cup. It lightens the heavy load. It strengthens the faltering soul. Let us therefore see that we have fervent love toward God, toward each other, and toward the lost world. So, when he's saying there, love endures. It continues on. It doesn't just end. It's not fickle. It's not like, well, I'm falling out of love with you. Real, true love continues on forever. It doesn't end. And real love, as it endures, makes things easier, makes things better. It doesn't make, the bitter, hard things that you have to do through love gets easier, gets better. So, that's the difference there. There's a difference. That's what real love is. It endures. It sacrifices. Right? So, you put all that together, you get what real love is. Not what the world's love is. Not willing to actually serve people. It's all very self-serving love. Because it doesn't actually call people out. It doesn't actually help people. The love of the world that they have is really just a love to gain for themselves. It's not thinking about other people. If you truly loved other people, why would you allow them to destroy their lives? Why would you allow them to keep dishonoring God all the time with their entire lives? But that's what these people call love. Oh, you want to dishonor you want to dishonor God that way? Oh, go ahead. I'll dishonor God with you. That's not love, people. Sorry. Because in the end, you're both going to go to hell. And how is that sacrificial and loving and uplifting? It's not. It's not. So the love of the world is destructive. The love of the world is not really love at all. It's actually pride, it's selfishness, it's destruction, with love lipstick on it. That's all it is. So that's the lesson for today. Next time, we'll end with our conclusion of looking at this passage of the beginning of Rachel and Jacob's love story.